What's good?
Welcome back to Best of Kin.
I'm Kadin.
I'm Joslyn. I wanted to see what you would say. Okay. Cheers to another episode, Kadin. Can we cheers our drinkies?
Yes, we can.
If we can reach. Okay.
Epi 60.
And Kadin doesn't know this, but our coffees today have been sponsored.
What? You're lying.
I'm not. By shout out to Jay and Kelly Kramer, aka Mom and Dad. For today's round of lattes.
They actually used the link and everything?
Yes, they did.
That's awesome.
I know, really cute. And I thought they did like days ago, and I waited to tell you.
Sweet.
On air. Yeah.
That's
Surprise.
why you sent the 15 so nonchalant. Like
yeah.
Get us some we're coffees. Even.
Yeah.
I mean
Mom and Dad's treat. And if you want to sponsor a coffee, you can head to the link in our show notes and do it there. And we'll give you a shout out on the next.
Absolutely.
I really needed this today. So feeling good. You've had a busy week, haven't you?
I have.
You've just been working so much. I have not even heard from you.
Server, and I served all week. Served the World Series. Tuesday. I was only supposed to work till like 5, and then like you can stay on a little bit if you want to pick up more tables.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having closing duties. No breaks, 13-hour shit.
Oh my gosh. It's like, oh, you're
But like
now?
I was caffeinated. Yeah. You're
like, no, I know, but it's like now you work nonstop.
Legit,
and you have no time.
Yeah.
That's
but
like off.
I love it. I was just telling Logan how it's awesome to be on the other side now. It is the same, I guess. Same amount of work, just different
status.
It taxes you differently.
Oh, interesting. Okay. How so? Just like, well, I mean, you're more interpersonal, right? You're like
it's monotonous. Yeah, you're to yourself and you don't really
more
talk
grunt
to
work.
anyone. But it's just a constant. You're just cleaning tables, and it's easier to get pissed. And then, but serving has a little bit more responsibility in a sense, but you are also reaping way more of the rewards, and you're seeing it like each table. You're like, okay, each one's a practice to get better at the next one. Every time you pick up
cash off a table, you're like,
or just seeing what tip they left, and it's just another practice for the next one. And it really it's like a puzzle too. I mean, one of my trainers, Jesse, he was even saying like it's a game. And it really is. Like if you get triple sat, you're like, how do I best consolidate my time to have a flow with all three, including the table you already have or something.
Yeah,
like it's a constant
I'm excited
puzzle.
for you. I think this is like
me too.
And you're so social. I made
it was like a $1,500 week. Easy.
Yeah.
So
and this is the time of year.
I'm back, baby.
This is the time of year to make money in Phoenix if you're like in the service industry like that.
October was a low month. It was tight, but now the beginning of this month, I feel comfortable and I already have a cushion
through to May.
With rent and
honestly,
stuff being paid.
Oh, don't we love that?
Yeah, no, it's
gorgeous. Speaking of Diamondbacks, so disappointing. My hometown pride has gone out the window. I'm like embarrassed to be a Phoenician. No, but I am just.
Did you even watch the game?
No, I just Google like the score as it's going, and I'm like,
that's fair.
What the hell? What the heck? Like,
It is a super young team, so a lot of reporters and analysts were saying that. I mean, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
We could definitely run it back
great. If this is just the beginning and we made it all the way to the World Series, like.
Yeah, we were not supposed to even be in the first round of playoffs. So.
Okay. Well, then maybe I'm being too harsh.
It did suck though. I mean.
To go all that way.
We barely lost the first game. It went to extra innings because it was tied, so they had to keep going more innings to see who would win. It's kind of like the overtime.
That was like a good one,
baseball.
though. I was like, when I was, Googling the score, I was like, ooh, we're still going.
And that was in Texas, and then we lost, but then we played again in Texas, won. But that's what sucks. We bring it back to Phoenix, and we lose all 3 home.
Yeah.
They win it here.
Right. I heard someone at the market was telling me that there was these like Canadians that were Texas fans, and they came down for all 3 games. And just the amount of money. Imagine the amount of money you spend on just the tickets. I heard tickets were so expensive. The food when you're there, the stay, if you're from out of town, like the stay, the flight from Canada. I'm like, this is like a $15,000+ trip.
Texas
fans. So random. But also my friend Joe, he went to one of the games and he said that like his margarita was $42 after tip. And I'm like, oh my gosh, crippling the economy in these games.
Yeah.
So crazy. I mean, it looked like a great margarita. It had like a tahini rim. It was like mango. But
This is at the game.
at the game, yeah.
Joe?
Joe, our new food
New
Phoenix.
food?
Shout out.
Went to the game. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just disappointed. That's all. That's my only like life update. I also heard the Suns game was trash.
Yeah, so we were up a lot. We had I think a home game Tuesday. Yeah, Halloween night. Played the Spurs. Winning, lost. Like really like last minute, like by 2. And then we lost by like 12 last night to them again at
Wow.
home. So they're
It just
kind
doesn't feel
of
good.
again oh god. And the analysts are kind of questioning because we were supposed to have like a big 3, so we have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and then Bradley Beal, who just came from the Wizards, and he's a really good player, so everyone was hyped about this season already. But it's not looking too hot.
And it's just not looking so good.
I guess chemistry, but you can't say that. I mean, it's the same thing with the Diamondbacks. People were saying
that they wouldn't.
We actually started really good, and the half end of the season became ass. We just kept losing,
fumbled it,
and then we barely made the wild card, which is like if you win, you get to go to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered a playoff game, and obviously the rest how that goes.
We just need to take a.
There's so many
deep
games
breath.
though. There's like 85 games in the NBA,
right.
so season just
started.
Like
it
They've
goes
only
so
played 5.
Long. Yeah,
it does. If you make it to the finals, it goes till June.
Oh my gosh, I remember.
Think about that. Like when you're gonna be 31. The NBA would just ended.
Age truly means nothing to me anymore. I feel like because you grow up with certain preconceived notions of what your life would look like when you're at a certain age. Like I'm sure when I was 12, I was like, yeah, and when I'm 30, I'll have a house in the city and I'll have like a house in the country and maybe like I'll dabble in. No, exactly. It's like you have like expectations of what's possible as you get older. And I think that all of our dreams have just been crushed by this economy and inflation, interest rates on homes. Like it's just like crushing dreams left and right.
But like Sam Cooke would say, the change is gonna come. You know that song?
I'm like, who's Sam Cooke?
I was born by the river.
Okay.
In a little tent.
Town.
I
thought it was
like
town.
The river I was running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come.
Okay.
Oh yes, it will.
Speaking of soulful songs out by the river, we were just listening
As
to
I went
Down in the River to
I made a slowed version of it. Maybe I can.
We'll link it.
Not even link it. I can maybe like play it quietly because it would not be copyrighted.
Right. Our outro will be it. Okay.
It's a different song, basically.
No, we were obsessed.
We could have our outro.
We were obsessed with "Oh Brother Where Art Thou" growing up because it's funny because it's like when we were Mormon, the Sunday is the Sabbath, and so you only partake in like media, music, movies, shows that are like church related, and that was like an exception to us. We were like, this is literally a song about praying by the river. So we would listen to that soundtrack to Brother Where Art Thou like on the way home from church.
That could be the roots of why I like
that kind of like what's
choir,
folksy,
chorus,
folk.
Just togetherness.
There's roots there for sure.
And a build up.
Yes, you love a crescendo.
And reverb, like it's in a space. It sounds big.
Yeah.
Soulful.
Soul.
Yeah, like those.
Like the song "Let It Be" and "Across the Universe."
Yeah, that one is
go so hard for that song.
But also, what are those? Oh, flash mobs! Remember those flash mobs I would watch too?
Yeah, like in the grocery store. There's like the Lion King Broadway cast.
Like yeah. It's just so good.
Or in trains.
It's like
or planes. Drug, choirs, soul choirs.
When you hear amazing voices,
it's intoxicating.
It's a weird human element or whatever we have in our bodies that make us like you get chills. You know how your body reacts. Like,
yes,
wow,
our chemistry.
It's the sound.
Yeah, it resonates.
Yeah,
resonance.
Perfect word for that.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Resonance.
I'm your words girl.
You heard that TikTok song?
Resonance.
There's no way I can impersonate it
because it's what instrumental.
It's they kind of do it over with Blade Runner clips where it's like, you look lonely. Phoenix.
Yes, I
And then
know
wow, wow, wow.
yes, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying. I literally am
I
picturing
love
it.
that.
Uh-huh.
But
Anyway.
I was gonna lead into what you're talking
Uh-huh.
about. If you, let's say, forget you met Logan.
Okay. Easy. Just
Tucson.
kidding. Okay.
Where were your, let's say also you already did your LA thing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
Okay.
you know the city in a sense. You know the
So it's
city
January
life.
2014 and I haven't met Logan yet.
Do
Okay.
you, and it's because like let's just pretend it's also, well, yeah, it would be post LA, right?
Yes, that's when I just got back.
What was your,
Goal for the future.
well, in like location and where to live?
I mean, after that point I had to move back home with mom and dad. And so the only thing on my mind was like just get out on my own again. Like that is the only thing I cared about. So I didn't mind that like my goal was to just like get my own place in Tucson because that was really all I was focused on was just being out on my own again. But that's what's so hard. It's like I wasn't thinking about anything else in terms of going anywhere after that.
Why do you have, oh, I'm sorry.
And I was gonna say too, like even in sort of like the earlier years of our relationship, we did not like Phoenix. We came out once for a Suns game and we were like, trash. This is dirty. It's hotter. Like this is not where it's at. And my views have changed significantly since living here. But what were you
Why?
gonna say? Oh, okay.
I was gonna say something else,
um,
but you can answer that.
okay. Well, I just feel I guess it depends on what you partake in, right? Because you could live anywhere and not do anything and you wouldn't have a unique experience. You know what I mean? Like regardless of where you live, if you're just doing the same things. But I just feel so ingrained in the community and like the small business community. I just know so many people. They know us. You know what I mean? Like going to the market and talking with all the vendors, like who know us. And it just feels so good to be part of the community. And there's just the coolest people ever in Phoenix.
So imagine that, but in a space like that TikTok you sent me last night of the Oregon
Oregon Coast.
coast.
No, I know.
Can you
But
imagine a farmer's market there?
but there isn't one there. That's what I'm
Bet.
saying. No, no, no. Like you go out.
Do you
Okay.
think it's not that populated over there?
No, I'm sure there's something, but not on the beach, like, not
No, no, no. I was saying
like, you're seeing these, like, TikToks that are
coastal area.
romanticizing an area and showing you, like, the highlights. I don't know how far of a drive it's gonna take. The fact that I am 5 minutes away from the farmer's market, less than 10 minutes away from my doctor, my dentist, my acupuncturist, my facialist, my brow person, this is so underrated in my opinion, like, having a person you like for all of these different services that you need to get, a hair person, like, knowing where to go, having a rapport with them, knowing what to expect, and liking the time that you, like, go to the dentist. Like, I like my dentist. Going to the doctor like, I love my OBGYN. Like, all of these things just, like, really
Obigin,
contribute.
obigin.
You're such a dude. No, but all of these things, like, contribute to just, like, a happy life.
But back to like not meeting Logan, or
Uh-huh,
let's say you initially didn't
uh-huh.
like Phoenix. Or do you just always see yourself as being in this? I mean, people, it's hard to imagine this when you think about city, right? You just think about you're in constant skyscrapers like Chicago
Sure.
or New York,
This is
right?
very different.
But it is a city and it's
Yes.
fucking huge and wide.
Yes. Yes. And populated.
Do you see yourself being a city girl?
This is genuinely the biggest dilemma of my life and the biggest back and forth and, like, struggle that I have mentally, and it is, like, why I to an extent, feel a little stuck where I'm at because I cannot decide what I wanna do.
Don't you think it's even harder though when you haven't really experienced, what are the places you've been that
Let me
aren't the
okay,
city?
here's the thing. There's only so many places that I would really want to live in, period.
But places you've been that has not been the city that you actually
I
enjoyed.
mean, true, it's, like, outside of the West Coast. And I visited the East Coast, like, I visited, like, Rhode Island, Boston, New York, like, I've seen it over there, and it doesn't, like, mesh with me, like, I don't feel like I belong. You know when you go to a place and you're like, "I've never felt more at home." That's how I felt when we visited San Francisco. I was like, I
I forgot
love
you
it
went there.
here. I just the
You didn't see
energy
all the
there, like
human poop?
no, I didn't see any human feces. I know it's there. I know that there's a lot of issues there with crime,
Yeah, but that's every city.
but that's every city. We live in, like there was, like, a stabbing at the light rail across the street, like, you know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
live in that, and it's like, I've never personally felt unsafe. Granted, I don't go out at night. I don't, like, walk around these streets at night, like, I don't feel, like, at fear, but that is, like, one of the things that I toggle back and forth with so this is the dilemma for me. Do I set up shop here, put down roots, buy a house in Phoenix, even though I'm, like, miserable 3 or 4 months a year, and, there's just not as much green, like, I feel like a healthier, happier person when there's greenery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When there's, like, grass I can easily go touch, and then we go to the park, and it's, like, within walking distance, and that's nice, but it's just not the same as being, like, surrounded in it every day. Like, our views outside our windows are concrete.
Wouldn't you exactly, yeah.
And I think I mean, I am
All
grateful for
of
this natural light. I will
around
say, like,
us.
even some people with, like a nice large house doesn't have as much natural light as we do. So I am, like, really grateful for that. But I just struggle with, do I want to buy a house here, put down roots, hope that the family, like, kind of all comes and this is, like, where our place is Arizona, right? Or do I seek land and build a homestead, perhaps a commune for our family? Like, I could go either way, and I just don't know what to do. I just don't
When
know
you're
what to
talking
do.
about the surroundings and, like, natural
Mhm.
landscapes, more
Like, where is that?
livelihood and grass and such, no. Do you think just living somewhere like that is way more, I guess, fulfilling as a life lived than just being somewhere where everything you love is convenient?
I think that for me, they're, like, equal. It's, like, the convenience of the amenities and having, like, incredible restaurants, like, in our backyard and, like, walkable things and, like, Logan works in downtown. Like, I just love all those things, but that to me is equal to, like, having rural land and, like, maybe, I don't know. Here's what I will say,
That's what's hard. That's why it's hard to
but because when you were camping, when you not camping, sorry, but when you were living in a camper for what, 7, 8 months,
8
and
months.
you would visit Phoenix, you were like, "Oh, I miss the amenities, like, the
But also, it's
convenience."
kind of it
Like,
was
that's the thing
both,
you
right?
miss. That's what I'm saying.
It
Is the
was the
grass greener because
convenience.
it's the thing you don't have, or is there a better? And
Hmm,
this is why I can't decide. Is it just because, like, I've lived in this apartment, I've lived in the city for 6 plus years now.
that's such a long time.
That's the longest I've lived anywhere, including homes we grew up in. That
Me
I've been
too.
here
I feel like
longer than I've lived anywhere in my life, and I love it, and I often days, like, do look around and I just, like, express gratitude, and I
mhm.
really love living here. I'm really grateful for Phoenix, the Phoenix community, like, the people that I've met here, but some days I wake up and I'm like, "I just wanna throw it all away, move somewhere else where no one knows me, like,
Well, it's
live 30 minutes away from everything." But then I think about growing up in Vail, 20 minutes to get anywhere and how miserable that was. But if you wanna live in a rural area, you kind of have to live 20 to 30, sometimes 40 minutes out from convenience and amenities and service providers. You know what I mean?
there has to be some in
There must
between,
be. That is
somewhere
not
with
millions
balance.
of dollars, because
Yeah,
obviously California has it all,
hidden
but it's like
gems.
right, and that's where I'm like,
Just
"But
like
where is
I mean,
that?"
Austin has always been Austin, but now it's just become more public
Mhm,
of how special of a place it is.
mhm.
Now it's becoming, San Diego or, like, just a
Sure,
completely overpopulated
totally.
area.
Yes. But it's like, I just don't know where to go from here. What about you? I mean, you always talk about the opposite when you're in the other thing, like, when you were, like, living in what, Yosemite?
Right
Was that
outside of it,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you were like
June
I
Lake.
mean, you did love it, but does it not get lonely? Not having a huge community around you?
But I did have a good community, I mean, especially, like, Keith, there's a, like, a big house around the lake that we became close with the owners,
Mhm.
and I mean, even mom and dad met
Mhm.
them, and they'd come pretty
But how
frequently.
many is that a community or is that just, like, your surrounding, like, neighbors?
Well, that's a hard, I guess, comparison to make
Yeah.
compared to community here there because
I
that
mean,
is like
it's completely different.
boonies. Like
Yes.
just because Mammoth is there, which was a big, obviously ski resort, like I think it's like the fifth biggest mountain,
Mhm.
or at least top 10 in the country. And so that town or village does have amenities like Avon's, like Safeway, stuff like
Mhm.
that, or similar like that. But other than that, if that wasn't there, and even then, that was like 25-minute drive. But there was only a general store
Mhm.
and a few shops. All would close very early. So community very small. More so just like all your neighbors.
Do you mind that though? Do you mind not having a big community? Like, or is that something that you missed? Or were you even, like, thinking about that at the time?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I did visit. I'd say I visited like almost 4 times, and each time was basically for a festival. So it was
Mhm.
kind of a culture shock.
Mhm.
And I remember the first time I came back, I could not get over how bright the sky was at night.
Mm,
I became I totally forgot about the light pollution,
pollution.
and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah.
not, like, I was like, "Why is it so bright?"
Yeah.
I was freaking out. It's like, "Is this brighter than usual?"
Mhm.
And then Mason literally said, like, "Oh, I thought that's just, like, how the night sky always looks." I was like, "Bro, what?" Or, like, he thought that was normal,
Mhm.
but doesn't realize how lit up the night sky is, especially with clouds and whatnot because of I mean, this grid is massive,
Mhm.
and there's lights I don't know the radius miles, but
It's crazy.
the whole grid is lit up.
Yes. Yes. So there's like, yeah, obviously you're more one with nature and rural areas.
That's
The sky is clearer, the air is cleaner, the soil is healthy. You know what I mean? I'm just picturing like not just anywhere but Phoenix, really. Our soil is, our like dirt is so compact, like it's harder to grow out here. Like if I wanted to do, I mean, you would do like garden beds, I guess.
well, that's why I think the perfect solution for me and I don't know why, maybe it's because we moved a lot growing up and then leaving a religion that we just fucking get off on change. I mean,
Uh huh.
mom and dad too, though, like, new
Like,
cars, like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have an Audi and a
Yeah, yeah,
Nissan
yeah, yeah,
now,
yeah, yeah,
traded
yeah. Or just like, yeah, move from moving to,
moving,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The novelty of the newness. But
being a kid," and then like, "Hey, you're gonna be an actor now." Like, "Whoa."
when the novelty wears off,
But
like
will it? What do you mean by that?
like all this newness, it's just to kind of like feel something. You know what I mean? Or like get out of like the monotony of life.
Yes.
But when that wears off and then it just becomes that is the new monotony of life, it's like you can't keep just like making those changes because it's like if you want something to change, you got to change, not just your surroundings.
Yes. And then also if you can fall back on you need I can't really think of the phrase, but it's like m creating what you have now to be, like, okay, like, grateful for it.
Right, right. Being okay with what you have, not always feeling like FOMO for what you don't.
Yeah, and it's
That's
not it's
major.
not FOMO for me, but
Yeah.
that's why I was gonna say the perfect solution for me is van life.
Yes.
I think I've just always craved because 'cause you've had kind of what's the word? A structural piece with you,
Ah,
AKA Logan, right? You've
consistency.
had a consistent
Mhm.
home,
Mhm.
a base,
Mhm.
a baseline, right?
Sure. A home
For
base.
so long. For
Yes.
so long, right? 10 years now?
10 years.
And
I
that's
know.
where it's we can't you can understand what I'm saying, I can understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
we and as far as, like,
But
raw
we are
emotion, we
different.
cannot relate.
Yes.
'Cause you have a kid right now, you're seeing, like, you're
I'm
thinking
thinking like, where do I wanna raise my kid? And you know what? It's actually ironic, if I may. Are you finished with that thought?
no.
Go ahead.
God, what'd
I
you say
know,
before
oops.
that?
You're just saying like, down to like an emotional level, like, we can't
Yeah,
fully understand one another.
you're thinking where to raise Sienna, right? Where I'm thinking
and
of,
grow a
like I'm
family.
thinking of, like, I need to see every fucking state in the United
Yes,
States.
right, exactly. So we're having this conversation and we're like, "Really? You sure about that?" But
Yeah,
it's like, "You
what?
sure about that? You sure about that?"
And it's like I've had this bug since, I would say, senior of high school. It might have been a Pinterest post.
Mm.
Could even been my second girlfriend bringing up a topic of, like, living in a van. It's like, "What?"
Mm. Mm.
And then it just became an obsession since, but then I get caught up in the city life,
Mhm.
the social construct of, like, capitalism, like, make your money,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
out,
yeah, yeah,
party on the
yeah.
weekend, feel like shit, and then
Yeah.
do it all over again.
But there's a way
And
to,
I got
like
stuck in that cycle for a very long time.
there is a way, though, to also, like, live in a city and not partake in, massive consumerism, not going out every weekend and,
There
like,
is.
still composting if you can in your apartment, and
Yeah.
there's ways to do it. It's just not as conducive of an environment if you're looking to be more grounded and one with nature and you know what I mean? But we just went to the park the other day and we met a dad there and he was like, "Yeah, so," like, we were basically just talking about, like, where we lived. He also lived in this area. Um, and he was just like he had 2 kids and he was like, "Yeah, the city is just, like, really not conducive to raising a family and we can't decide where to go because we've got family that is all over the place." And it's like, do we go where they are? Because it really does take a village to raise a family these days. And maybe we're going back to our roots of, like, homesteading, having a commune with your family,
Which
buying
we've talked
land, which
about,
we've talked
and
about. And
I
I'm
think would
on board with it.
everyone would benefit
But
off of
I'm like,
that.
do I want to start that journey now or do I want to live out more of my, like, mid years in this sort of city environment until I'm, like, older, more prepared to settle
You could
into that?
you could set the seeds mentally for that,
Totally.
but, I mean, there's also, like, exceptions to the city life,
Yeah.
but to raising a family in suburbia, like Gilbert,
Right,
right? I
I
mean,
know, I know. I
it's
don't
populated, but that's
but then I'm like,
super nice,
well,
just
now I'm
cookie cutter.
far and it's still hot. So part of me thinks if I'm gonna do anything rural, it is not gonna be in Arizona because it's like now I don't have the convenience of the city and I'm still miserable with the heat and the weather.
That's something I can't get over, like, I am scared. I'm still pissed right now, but next weekend
Talk about us like
nah,
the
I
weather.
know, we can trash that, but I think I have that bug of craving, I wouldn't say change, but experiencing something I never have or thought
Yeah.
I could've.
Okay.
And you have no idea, none of us do, what a journey, like, across the entire country of where we live
Mhm.
would,
What that would do to you or for you.
yeah.
The My thing is, I guess, like, I don't have a desire to see everything. There's some things I wanna see, and it's on a list, you know what I mean? And
What
I'll start
is a
checking things off the
desire
list.
or an obsession you have that, like, when you see it or hear about it, you, like, fucking, like, get so excited? For instance, example, when I was, like, in high school and playing volleyball and shit,
Mhm.
when I would see a net, I'd be like, "I need to, like, play on it." It's probably like someone that sees a hoop and, like a hooper, like, "Fuck,
Uh-huh,
I gotta
uh-huh.
shoot a bar now."
Um,
That's me now when I see a fucking van because I can
uh-huh.
spot any converted van anywhere.
That's
Some are obvious, some
interesting.
are more not, but you just gotta look at the small components.
Yes.
And I just get like,
Well, on that note, I think that part of that is, like, your intuition, and I think that okay, so I saw a TikTok of this
"Huh,
lady basically saying, like, when you feel jealous of what someone else has, that just means that that's something that you want. Like, it's just your body and your, like, your self's way of telling you, like, that thing is meant for you if you wanna take that route. Like, look, it's possible. This person did it, so you can do it. You know what I mean? But it's like,
well, I guess
uh,
that's a type of jealousy."
well, it's just like somebody who wants something that you want, and you're, like, jealous of it. Don't think of it as, like, a negative. Think of it
Mm.
as, like, your body is guiding you towards the things that you want. And so, then with that mindset, I'll, like, watch the TikToks of, like, people homesteading and having their chickens and, like,
How does that
going out
make
on
you
their no,
feel?
I'm jealous. That's what I'm saying.
It gives you,
But
like, this feeling.
conversely, like, when I see, like, people living in, like,
I
New
was gonna
York or
say,
the city or something, like, I am not jealous.
that's
But
what I'm
it's like, is it
saying,
because I already have it that I'm not jealous? Obviously. I'm like, I already live in a place like that.
but
Not like Phoenix is New York, but I'm saying, like, I live in an environment like that. Is that why I'm not yearning for that because I already have it, and maybe I'm yearning for just some open land
I'm
because
curious what this conversation will be like after our Portland trip.
I know. I'm so excited. We're going. We just got to go. I would love to go for
And we
4th of
have to.
July.
The video you sent me last night
I
triggered me.
know. I know. One of my earliest memories, period, is going to a gorgeous park for 4th of July as a kid.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was like a
mom and
little
dad.
fair, and it was like the first time seeing fireworks, and it was just the most majestic, like magical thing. Like the whole community coming together. Like, oh, I
And I'm
just have
hoping that's not
such fond
because it was like
memories.
early 2000s.
No, it was like in the 90s.
Yeah, well, late 90s.
Yeah.
But that's what mom and dad did, right? No, I think there's like lakes out there that everyone go
Oh,
on
we had a
boats.
boat. Remember that? We
Yeah,
had a
but
boat.
for 4th of July, it was
Uh-huh.
like a massive
Yeah.
event celebration
I
of
just love that.
fireworks.
And I would love for Sienna to like have that environment, grow up in that environment. It's just tough. But that's why I want to bring her on our trip if that's cool. Logan and
Yeah,
Sienna. I think we should all
yes.
go. So that
Yeah, let me just bring my girlfriend.
But did you
Cuffing
see that Airbnb I
season.
sent you that had the skylights?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's I still think where we should go. But I'm also like, should we split the trip in half and go like Portland for a few days and then the Oregon coast for a few days and do like a coastal half of the trip?
I think we have to.
I
Because
just think we
Oregon
have to.
coast, it has that beach town feel.
Uh-huh.
I would say similar to like Laguna or
Uh-huh.
something, but obviously in its own the Pacific
Pacific
Northwest feel.
Northwest. I know.
So
I die
maybe
for
not as sunny, but
yeah.
ridgy.
Mountainous,
Yeah.
cold,
Forest.
foresty. Yeah, nothing beats like a combo of like the forest with the beach. There's like
Big Sur.
have you been to like Cambria? Exactly. No, like central. Would you say that's central California? Or north central?
Northwest.
Yeah. Well, obviously
It's
west.
only no, is it? No, it's south of San Fran, but
It's definitely because when we did that
only
road
like
trip.
I would say only 3 hours, 2
Yeah.
hours. Could be wrong.
Yeah.
Definitely not
Totally.
central though.
No, but I can't believe it's so north.
Yeah, because Santa Barbara, I would say you're
You would say that's
pushing
central?
closer
I
to
would say that's
you're below central, but
okay.
that's kind of the last main city
So
you
central,
are.
there's really nothing going on in there. What
It's
is
all
in there?
farmland.
Okay, like
That's
Bakersfield?
why. Well, it's farmland or it's split by the Sierra Nevada
Okay.
mountain
Okay.
range.
There's a lot of camping out there.
Well, I
Where are the
remember me and Dad
redwoods?
did that trip, which was so cool.
Oh, yeah, you
Also,
guys did
no, whoa,
that
whoa, whoa,
trip.
whoa! This might have
Whoa,
been the
whoa,
trigger.
whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
My dad's
Yeah.
old insurance, or no, still same insurance company, but we had some deal with another one to basically inspect pools
Uh-huh.
for insurance purposes. And usually you would have an agent out in the area to do it, but there was a shit ton to be done all throughout California.
Uh-huh.
And I don't really remember why, but Dad wanted to tackle it and asked if I wanted to come. And I think I was still in high school. I want to say my senior
Really?
year. Yeah, but it was
Wow.
my spring break.
Okay.
And it was a 9-day
Whoa.
adventure. And all we had was a Honda CR-V. I don't remember
Whoa.
what year. Do you remember the year of that
Mm-mm.
CR-V? Maybe
Mm-mm.
2010.
Mm.
2 suitcases and a twin airbag mattress. So we took out the back seats, and all we had was a twin airbag mattress.
Mm-hmm.
And that was our home and transportation
For
for
9
the whole
days.
9 days. We did stay in a hotel one night because we were somewhere north of San Fran. So, and we had like that was more boonies, and we had no idea where we're gonna sleep legally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we
And
even
you love that. You love the spontaneity.
yeah.
You
I mean,
love
sleeping
figuring
in
it
a
out
twin
as you
airbag
go.
mattress, but it was,
See, that's where
and I
I'm
want
like,
that feeling. Obviously, you're not gonna get that in van life, right? You're
yeah.
gonna be sleeping in Walmart parking lots, casinos, hotels, but that's just part of it. And I want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm something I'm looking forward to.
I
But I got
guess
to see all of California,
mm-hmm.
spontaneous. Like we had to sleep in a hotel parking lot, and I remember there was cops
Mm-hmm.
that were like making sure there weren't any like poachers. Right? Was that the right word? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think
We
poachers is
weren't
the word.
poaching. Basically illegally staying there.
Yeah.
And we had the
Trespassing.
windshield like covered, but they put on their spotlight on our car. I remember me and Dad
Yeah.
were just like, "Oh
Logan and
gosh,
I did
stay
that
low."
in San Diego. You're not allowed to sleep in your
Oh
car there,
yeah,
and
yeah. You had
we were in
spotlights on you.
Oceanside, and there was like the cars or the police like going up and down,
Scary,
and we
but
were yeah.
thrilling.
I see. I hate it. Makes my stomach like turn. I
I mean,
just
yeah,
want
it was
everything
scary
to
at
be like
first. Yeah.
legal and planned ahead and
but it was each city we discovered, like, food to have, and I mean, one of the times we were in Santa Clarita, which is right outside San Fran, and it was the very beginning of the NFL season, and we're like, "Do you wanna see if we can catch this NFL
Mm,
game?" First NFL game,
mhm.
saw the 49ers play the Rams.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. All these and then,
Memes.
like, let's just go see the Golden Gate Bridge. We're in San Fran,
Mhm,
and then drove down, like, "Let's go through Big Sur, let's camp in Big Sur."
mhm. See
And we went all the way down to PCH to Santa Barbara, ate tacos on the
oh,
beach,
yeah. Yum. I
and again, all with just dad. It's, like,
yeah, that's so fun.
really
I
cool
don't doubt that you
experience.
can do it. Like, I don't doubt
I don't
that
either,
that's,
no.
like, a
It's
gonna
not a
be a
doubt.
great thing for you. So you really
I'm
there's no
just going
question for
digging
you, is that what
deeper
you're
and
saying?
no question. It's
Yeah.
even I have
So
this feeling
you wouldn't
of
live in the city long term, longer than you needed to?
no, and if I did, I think it'd be in a van. I mean, there's so many ways
Right.
to stealth live in
Mhm,
cities, and I feel like after I fulfilled the dream of every national park, at least seeing main parts of each state,
mhm,
what they're known for,
mhm.
then it's,
Then you feel like you could settle down.
yeah. But
S
that will never be answered unless I fulfill that.
You will always wonder, "What if? Am I in the right spot?" Like, if you don't go do that.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, Arizona is home,
Uh-huh.
and that's why I think it's hard to leave because you think about other states, but Arizona is so unique,
Mhm.
and I don't think anyone can question that.
Yeah. I genuinely believe it is one of the best states in the country, and I have been to a decent amount of states. I really have, and I'm like, I wouldn't go anywhere but Arizona, or if I could afford it, California. Like, but granted, I know that there's more to see, but that's where I'm now kind of like next year, Logan and I are kind of planning trips around where we might want to live
It's
because
also
we don't
just
know
the
yet.
western part of the United States. I mean, it's so
So beautiful.
yeah, the terrain
Mhm.
very unique, and I've heard a lot of other van lifers and people that travel a lot that the West Coast is definitely more suitable for
Mhm.
those type of adventures. I
Mhm.
mean, national parks alone.
Yeah, totally. That'll keep you
Because when you
busy.
think about national parks, every one I list, it's the only one on this side of the country. You don't really know
Mhm.
much. I mean, obviously they exist. Right? I know there's one. I think Ar- Arcata National Park might be one in Maine, or
Maine is beautiful.
I heard.
I would
Yeah.
actually
Well, I still
I would
want to.
check
That's
out
why I
Maine.
want to. I want to. Like
Mhm.
you forget. Like what the fuck, Vermont, New Hampshire. What?
Yeah,
Did you ever
gorgeous.
used to have like a favorite state just because of like the shape or what it was or how it was
Um,
called?
no, I don't
I
think
was a big Rhode
so.
Island guy.
Because it was the smallest,
Yeah.
and you were like, "That's so unique."
Yeah. Because we used to have that.
It's cute. I mean, I went to obviously
You
just
remember that
one part
board
of
game we
it.
used to have? It's like you had to
A
like you
board
flip
game?
cards, yeah, and then you have to guess or know like the state
Was
capital
this
or there's
homeschool?
shit maybe. Now that I think
Was this
about
a
it.
homeschool flashcard?
No, I know it was a game we got like at
Okay.
Target, but
Oh, it was like the 50 United States of something, like
maps, yeah.
maps,
Like what how
geography.
many states are bordered with Kentucky?
Oh, okay. Again, this might have been an educational thing,
It's either
but
Kentucky or Tennessee, but they border 8. Isn't that
whoa.
insane? Again, the difference with the East and West.
They're much more condensed over
Uh-huh.
there, where we're way spread out over here, which if you lived more east, you could visit more in a shorter time.
Uh-huh.
Whereas here it's like, 8 hours to LA or like
Well, one of my friends
12 hours to Utah
one of my
or like
friends,
Salt Lake.
Gavin, he used to live in, oh gosh, Albany, New York.
Mhm.
And we were actually having this conversation recently talking about that when he came in here, it was such a culture shock.
Mhm.
Like driving between places, for instance, let's say you're going to even Tucson to Phoenix,
Mhm.
Phoenix to San Diego,
Mhm.
just that there's so much fucking open space and
Yeah.
land.
Yeah.
Just nothing.
Nothing for
Shit ton
miles.
of land.
Yep.
Hundreds of
Yep.
miles
Hundreds of
or
miles.
over 100 miles. Whereas East Coast, I mean, you're always gonna hit a city or like
Yeah.
a
A
town.
river.
Yeah, something.
Something.
Not just these empty,
It is
bare
yeah.
land through the
It's
highway.
the
A
desert.
single highway, right?
It's the desert.
Yeah. Well, not like let's say you're going to Colorado. There's
Right.
just so much
Yes,
and
yes.
he could not get over that.
Yeah.
So I kind of want that same culture shock of going to the East Coast
Yeah.
or just
Just to
somewhere else
have
that
the
is in the country we live
experience.
in,
Yes. You
and
mean the
just this
state?
country.
Oh,
No, this whole
oh, oh,
country.
oh, 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 okay.
Like, yeah, that's what Europeans even talk about.
Yeah.
How,
Spread out we are?
mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think just yeah, because you can get through. I mean, like the north end of Europe to the south end in what,
I have no idea. Couple hours.
12 hours?
Um,
Like, from here to San Fran is 14, and I'm pretty sure
uh-huh.
that's the same length of like,
Like France or something.
or north to south end of all of Europe.
Wow. That's crazy to think
Yeah.
about. Whoa.
Like, you're just like, "Well, let's go to San Fran," and then where in Europe, you're going through
All of it.
all of this history and
Right.
ancient
That is the thing
land.
that I guess that bums me out is the lack of like culture that we're
Well,
surrounded in.
yeah, we can't control that, though.
I know. We can move.
Yeah, like,
But
this
that's why
you
Logan
know,
and I
this
are
state
like,
was founded in 1919, like,
we've
that's so
also,
recent.
we're kind of still in this era. I don't know if it's like this is 100% what we're going to do, but we've always played with the idea of buying land with outbuildings in
Oh my
France, like the
gosh.
French country.
Oh, yeah.
If you look it up, like you can buy hectares, which is like hundreds of acres, hectares of land with buildings and like lily ponds and hiking trails for the same price as a home in my zip code. That was like, okay, let's say like 3 bed, 2 bath.
That's also, though.
And it's like, obviously, it's hard to compare these things
Mhm.
because of how much Phoenix has. But just the idea that you could have so much land and space for the same as a home here. It makes me want to leave. What were you going to say?
That's also just the current
The current
time.
housing. But it's like, do I stay forever hoping for a housing crash? Like,
Or
no.
your other idea of getting land
I've
and
had a lot of ideas,
building
okay?
tiny
Oh,
homes.
I wouldn't even do tiny homes. I would do like a home for me.
Legit home.
Yeah, I would do like a legit home for me, a legit home for mom and
Like the whole
dad.
outdoor
One,
shower
you can have a guest house.
aesthetic. No,
Park your
I just need a
van. Just come
driveway.
park your yeah, exactly.
Give me a
I'll give you a
slab.
little concrete slab. Yeah, we'll make a little patio vibe. Like
That's
I also am
that's all I
so
need.
obsessed. Like
That's all I need.
as a kid growing up, I actually would dream about like a white, like like slat, like what is it called? I guess um
Slat.
slat siding, right? Like white with
Oh.
a wraparound covered porch.
Oh,
Like
enclosed porch?
not enclosed,
Like an
but
Arizona room,
it's
right?
no, but it's open.
Uh,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
a
yeah.
porch. It's just a porch.
It's giving Montana.
It's giving The Notebook, the home that he
I need
builds
to
for
watch
her.
that again.
You
I don't know if I ever have.
do
What do you want?
you want to watch it tonight?
Maybe.
Mm.
Little segue, we can get back to this shit,
Okay.
but Notebook, right?
Uh-huh.
Romantic movies goes
Uh-huh.
into what we were talking about last
Last time.
episode,
Yep.
cuffing
Yep.
season.
Yep.
I forgot to mention
Ah.
the 3 about a girl, one of them willing to live in a van.
Wait, what do you Oh. Yes, you're
This is
calling it
not
back to,
just real quick, I need to
"Hey,
throw that out
ladies,
there. And I should rephrase that. That sounded so like, you must want to live in one. But
but open to traveling, open
yeah,
to camping, like,
thank you.
isn't too,
Yeah,
like, high maintenance to where they're like, "Oh, I will never, like, camp." Like, "What? No shower?" You know?
you're right.
That's, like,
That's huge.
your,
I was
speed.
gonna ask you too. Do you even like camping?
I love camping.
Okay.
A lot of the trips that we take are camping
Yeah,
trips.
and,
We
like,
camped our way to San Francisco from
spontaneous
Phoenix.
in a car
See, no, planned.
or a car
I
kit.
know where I'm sleeping every night, like, they're planned out. I don't like just going off and then
Again,
not
that's where you and me
knowing.
are different. You're really
No,
good at that,
exactly.
whereas, like,
But
I'm
I'm
more
still
of
down to
careless
camp. Like, I'm not,
or
like,
carefree.
so high maintenance,
Yeah,
I feel. But I
I
like
don't
to
think so
be
either, yeah.
safe. I think for women, it's a safety thing. I think that there is a lot that you may not
Yeah, yeah,
understand
yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah.
man,
But you're with a man.
but that's why I'm like down for it. But like I even that dad at the park that I was talking to was saying like that his wife would bring the kids, and there have been times when like some of them scammy people around this area would be, like, going after her and the kids, and, like, I would probably not go by myself walking
Yeah, it
Sienna around the
is night
park.
and day
Like,
difference.
it's just it's a
Solo.
safety thing. I like to know where I'm sleeping. I like to know that it's a safe, secure area. I've researched the zip code, the crime in the area. Like, I just like to have safety, especially now that we have Sienna. It's, like, the top thing on my mind.
Everything
But
changes.
it's true, like, I've just been for years, I feel like, just trying to figure out where do I wanna raise a family? Where do I wanna be? Do I wanna be where my friends and family currently are, or do I want to leave, make new friends, and hope that my family follows me? Because they're gonna go where the grandkids are at the end of the day.
Do you think you'll eventually have other friends that have like, do you see yourself creating, more friends as life goes on or as Sienna gets older because of, like, Sienna?
I
Like,
mean, I
"Oh,
think,
and"
like, Sienna is helping us meet other parents, like, the
Yeah.
things that we take her to, we're meeting other parents with kids exactly her age, and it's like, that's been really nice.
But
But
you
again,
always
like,
talk
you can
about
do that
how
anywhere.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
which is cool, but you always talk about your
Community.
circle of friends usually,
Mhm.
like, is forever changing in a way.
I mean, I guess in a sense, when I moved to Phoenix, I made, like, my Phoenix friends, but I still have, like, the friends that I had in high school. You know what I mean? Like, they've stayed with me, so I'm hoping that my Phoenix friends I'm, like, still in touch with, obviously, like, if we were to move.
Do you think that's also a factor why you are in between? Because if you're in the city and you're a big person, like, you want to eventually host people, right? Or,
That's the
like, a
thing. Yes,
backyard
yes, exactly. I would love to have a
once a week
backyard, to
thing.
host people, have little parties, design the menus. I'm so into that. And it is difficult for me to think about, like, being in a rural area far away, no one wants to drive that far, or you know what I mean? Like, even if we made friends in another place, but yeah, I don't think I
But
could live
I
in
think
Mesa
there's
or Gilbert.
places exist that are like that, that aren't rural, like, the way
Right.
when you keep thinking of
But
it, you think of, like,
where?
that's why we travel. I'll let you know.
Okay, you go investigate.
Yeah,
Let me
but
know. I need some lush
I'm
greenery. The other
feeling
thing is
I'm feeling Oregon, man.
you're feeling Oregon? Is it just
Bend.
because see, you are easily swayed when you
No, I
see,
haven't
like
seen no, that was Cannon
I
Beach.
know, but that was when you
I'm
were like,
talking, like, central
"Okay,
South Oregon, which is where Bend is.
uh-huh,
And I think
gorgeous."
Bend has it's tough, man.
But me and Logan are also like, what if we had a house in Phoenix, but we were somehow also both
Where?
remote and could afford to leave the
Where in
whole
Phoenix?
summer? North Central Phoenix
That
is my
has to be
favorite part of
necessary.
Phoenix. Like,
North Central?
yes.
Oh, like, just up the street?
Yeah.
Oh,
Not too
like,
north.
Dunlap,
No, no,
what?
no, no, no.
Uh-oh.
Don't
Scary.
say streets because we don't want people to know exactly, like, where we are
Yeah,
relative
I
to
know.
things, but
But where
North
the
Central
light
Phoenix, I
rail
love.
ends on Dunlap is scary.
Sketch. Scary, scary. Yes. Um, I think I don't know. I just don't know. And this is me and Logan every day talk about this, and it's like, well, we're here right now, and we're not. I mean, yeah, we're kind of stuck. I mean, we're in a lease. You know what I mean? So like, can't do anything now, but we'll see. I guess I don't know. I don't know the answers for myself. I
Was
think
there any trigger point of wanting a homestead? Do you think was it because of COVID that was
it
like
could have been partially my upbringing and just, like, seeing myself as, like, a homemaker. I mean, like, growing up, I did love to sew and to draw and to, like, do crafts and to, like, bake. I love cooking. Like, I feel like all the things that I genuinely love and enjoy lend itself to that lifestyle.
has that also made
Having
you just
chickens, I
always
would
want to
love.
just be a mom?
I battle that all the
Or how
time
mom
because
was
I
a
think
mom?
I have, like, so much potential to do more than be just a mom, but at the same time, like,
No,
what
I'm
brings
not
me the most joy is, like, being a homemaker.
yes.
So that's what I battle with, like, I do feel like I have so much potential and I am, like, very creative and I feel, like, confident in my abilities, and I've been, like, advertising my skills and abilities for years now as, like, businesses, but at the end of the day, it's like I do love just being a mom, and
Did you
I
always
battle with that a lot,
I don't know if we already talked about this once, but is that
possibly.
you always wanted to or
That's
saw
all I
yourself?
ever saw for
Yeah.
myself, but then it was like, once I saw more for myself, I wanted more, but now that I've had that more, I'm like, I don't necessarily
Uh,
like that better. just because I, like, can do all these things doesn't mean, like, I want to forever. But I mean, Logan, like, gets mad at me all the time because I'm always, like, wanting to do more, and he's like, "Can you just fucking chill? Can you just relax and just, like, hang out with Sienna and, like, not feel like you're being unproductive or not working towards something
We
by,
can
like."
relate in that way.
Yeah, I'm constantly feeling like I have to be, like, working towards more, doing more, being
Mhm.
productive. I have a hard time taking breaks and just relaxing, but then I have guilt if I'm not spending enough time with Sienna or feel like I'm being not present with her all the time. So it's like my mind is constantly
Damn.
being torn in a lot of different places, and it is hard for me to chill.
What's the way to, like, heal that? Not heal that, but improve
Like,
on
get through that. I mean,
or practice.
knowing when to take, like, a break, I guess. Even then, it's like, I can't even enjoy the break because I'm like, I could be doing this and this and this and this because I do have goals, like, I do have things that I want to accomplish in my life, but it's a struggle. It's definitely also just, like, being a newer mom. I mean, she's 16 months now. That's just a huge transition, like, when she was born, I was, like, in the middle or at the beginning of a huge new contract in an industry that I thought I was going to continue to be in with, like, working with governments and, like, helping improve
Oh, yeah.
cities, like, I really thought, like, "Okay, this is gonna be, like, a new direction," but as I went through it, it was like, okay, this is, like, not as creative as I want it to be. I'm, like, not super fulfilled doing this, and it's also, like, I'm working way more, spending not enough time with Sienna, like, I don't like that balance, so then I'm taking away from work, spending more time with Sienna, but then if I'm only just spending time with Sienna, I'm like, "What can I do for
What
work?"
a roller coaster your career has been
No, I know, it's
as
really
a
crazy. As just a
freelance entrepreneur.
freelance, yeah, and people ask me, like, what I do, and I literally never know what to say because it's like,
Yeah.
I've been doing something different, like, every couple months,
Yeah, my
like,
friends will ask me, like,
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know.
I don't
It'll
know
be
what to
cool, though,
say.
when Sienna's a little older and we can if we're still recording in a
Mhm.
house situation, like, they don't have to leave.
Leave.
Yeah.
I know. Well, yeah, right, exactly. That's the thing, like, this
And we
apartment is
almost could.
she is
I just
s
don't know.
no,
I
like,
might put
she
a little,
screams,
yeah,
like, she and
a
what,
little
they'd
more
be
work
locked
in
in
my
that bedroom?
post.
Where would they go?
No. I mean, Logan could do whatever, but it's Sienna just making those random
She
noises.
is, like, velociraptor screaming, and right now, I wouldn't say that she's,
The
like,
attitude.
started to do tantrums, but if I, like, pick her up and put her elsewhere or take something away or, like, if she's running away and I grab her, she just lets out, like, a blood-curdling scream just to let me know, like, "No, like, I don't agree with what
Getting
you're
a little
doing."
sassy.
She's getting sassy.
Literally asked for a hug, and she completely
N
shook her head. I was
I know,
like,
she's really it
my
was
heart
so
dropped.
sad, like, her
That
favorite
was the
word was
first time.
"yes" for a while, and now it's "no." And I'm
Yeah.
like
She's like, "You know what?"
and I used to be like, "Can I have a kiss?" She used to pucker up. Now, she just tilts her head down and is like, "You may kiss me on top of the head." Not even the forehead. She leans down her head so low to where she's bowing. Like, "You can kiss the back of my head." And then when I go to get a hug, she'll back up into me. She'll just be like, "Yeah, you can hug my back." But she is not
Jeez.
as unless
Yeah,
she's, like,
she's
really sleepy, and then she'll be cute and cuddly, but she is
truly
definitely, like,
becoming herself.
yeah, she's coming into herself and realizing that she, has a little more independence, and you know
An
what? She runs the show.
That's another thing too to consider where you're gonna be is I mean,
It's gonna
I
shape
think
her
a
whole life.
childhood of constantly being outside is
Ideal.
yes.
And another thing I think of, our childhood, we had a great childhood.
Yeah.
We had a very memorable, warm and fuzzy, cozy, nostalgic
A lot of trips
childhood,
too.
like, a decent amount of trips, but just, like, lots of space in the backyard to run around. Grew up, like, playing with the neighborhood kids until it got dark, and then you'd all run inside, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a very, like,
Is that something you want
quintessential.
for Sienna?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to an extent. Not necessarily, like, she has to have a neighborhood of kids to play with, but, like, a yard would be nice. Like, that's really, for me, what it comes down to is just, like,
A
owning a piece
neighborhood
of land that she can enjoy without having to walk a mile,
or
you know?
having you guys drive her to or
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah.
because you're gonna be in a situation when you are living in a house,
Mhm.
hopefully somewhere nice and green.
You're like, "So I can come crash,
But I
do
mean,
my laundry."
I remember being a kid and you're like, "Mom, can I go play?" And, like, you're gonna have to let her just go out and,
I
like
know. Without phones. Can you believe we did that?
yeah.
You just went off. I would walk so far from home and, like, into washes, like,
Yeah.
with friends, and, like, it was just a wild time. A wild time.
That's what scares me, though, like, I did that and I wanna
Kids are
do it,
terrible
and I remember how
influences.
it felt to, like, "I'm independent, I can do this, I'll be okay." But having your own kid and allowing them to just go,
It's
oof.
so scary. It's so scary. I know. I can't even imagine when she's a little
It's hard to
older.
imagine that somewhere here unless you're, like, away from
Yeah.
the central of the valley.
Mhm.
'Cause I could see this, like, North Peoria or North Scottsdale, those are those more spread out
Yeah,
suburban
suburban.
neighborhoods
Yeah, but I think that I
with
would be
parks.
again, it's like, yeah, it's suburban, but I'm now not living in, like, the city where all the people I know are, and it's still hot. So that's why it's like my move is never gonna be to Mesa, to Peoria, like, I'm either here or I have, like, a nice house in North Central Phoenix, or I'm in another state or another country.
Or somewhere that it's
But if I go to another country, then it's
beneficial,
so far from, like, the grandparents and you know what I mean? Like,
and a lot of things change, like,
yeah.
I mean, the way of living,
Mhm.
whatever the, like, politics is
Right.
there,
Right. And, like,
rights.
what would we do for work? And also, it's not as easy as just moving to another country, like, there are, like,
Oh
considerations with
gosh.
getting
Well, you have
visas
to
and,
get
like,
yeah.
there's a lot there, and I've already looked into it, it's a lot, and so that's obviously a huge deterrent, but and maybe that is that thing of just, like, wanting a novel experience because I'm, like, getting, like, tired of this.
Mhm.
But you also need that to, like, have when you come back home, like, have gratitude for what you have.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, you need that fresh perspective, not just to, like, get out of your routine, but to then appreciate your home
And I
when you
think
come
it's
back.
very necessary.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to Oregon next
Yeah.
summer. Logan and I we were talking about, "Oh, let's go to Vermont to see the leaves change," but I'm like, "Let's go to Asheville in the fall and see, like, how that is next year."
Yeah, fairly a little bit closer for sure.
Yeah. 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 And gorgeous. Lots of, like,
Which parts
dining
of
and
Colorado have you been to?
just Denver is alright.
Been to Denver?
Yeah.
There's a lot of pretty places there though.
Mhm.
So I've
I
heard
don't but
and
Logan
seen.
refuses to live that's the other thing. He'll never live where there's, like, a lot of snow
Oh, 'cause you grew up
because
in
he grew
it?
up in Colorado.
But what about
So,
Four Seasons?
he does not like snow, and that's why he liked Arizona. And growing up, our parents didn't like how rainy and overcast it was every day, that's why they picked Tucson. So it's like,
Well,
you
also to be
always
closer
want
to
what you
San
don't
Diego.
have. What'd you say?
To be closer to San Diego.
Right. But I'm also like, "Why didn't we stay in San Diego?"
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they went from
Why
San
didn't
Diego
they?
to Oregon. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
Wait.
That's very
And now we're all
random.
just wanting to go
Well,
back
what's
to
crazy
California.
about moving to Tucson is that they never even visited.
I know. Sight
They
unseen, bought
chose,
a
and I think they
house
bought the house
without seeing it.
online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Add to cart, check out. Bought a house
Home
online.
bot. We're moving.
So
Year
crazy.
2000.
So crazy.
Mm.
But that's also, like, scary to do when you have a bunch of kids. I'm like, I can't imagine that. That's not as easy as just, like,
4
if it was
kids,
just me and Logan
never
and
been somewhere.
yeah.
I mean, what? Don't know how the school I mean, luckily, it ended up being nice.
Yeah, it worked
Well,
out.
the move to Vail, essentially.
Mhm.
I'm glad we didn't stay in Rita.
Oh my god.
But, uh,
But yeah, I just every day we talk about I don't know where to go, and in the meantime, we'll be here. So I know as soon as you can, you're out of here.
yeah.
But I don't know where I'll be. Probably here because I can't
I
make up my
like the
mind. I also feel
idea,
indecisive.
but like you said, it is necessary to, I mean, try something new. Because if you I don't know.
But new isn't
This is
always
different,
better.
though, but
I know.
we're looking at it differently.
I know because we have different intentions entirely.
Yeah.
You want to like see and do as much as possible. I'm like, I just
I
want to
want
find
to
a
be
nice place to settle
uncomfortable
down.
to grow and experience, I
Yeah.
wanna, like, because I've already noticed that coming back from June Lake, I was really happy, friends, convenience, right? Just driving places or Uber Eats or
Mhm.
whatever. But that slowly already went away. I say within the first 5 months because you find a place,
Yeah.
you're paying rent, and you have your jobs, and you're just working, and
And
the
it's just like the
pattern
daily
goes.
grind forever.
And that culture shock of coming back from June Lake, where June Lake, I think that was the first time in my adult life where every day I just felt alive.
Mm.
Like
Like you were living
there
life.
was no, yeah, there was no stress or this feeling of like, oh, am I gonna make rent or oh gosh, I'm just overworking myself.
Mhm.
It just I woke up and it was like this. Every day was like Friday.
Mhm. The Friday vibes.
Just
I
yeah,
love
feeling alive,
Fridays.
being outside and it's such a beautiful
I
place.
think being outside is most of that, to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
honest,
yeah.
because you're, like, out in the world. Anytime you're inside, whether it be at work or whatever at home, it's like
Mm-hmm.
you're in a little bubble. You're in your bubble. But when you go outside, it's like the bubble bursts,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Oh gosh,
So
but that
really,
was a
at the end of the
big.
day, all I want is to be outside more.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't live in a place that's super conducive to that, and that is the problem
Unless you're,
and the solution. Unless you're what?
I mean, the only what like the outdoor activities here, I would say like running and biking and
I mean, yeah, we go on our walks. I like the hike that we do.
or
I
hikes, yeah.
mean,
But again, it is
but it's like, could do that anywhere.
with maybe more activities like
Oh,
kayaking
easy,
or
easy. And then it's like, you also have to look at like what has good schools, or am I homeschooling Sienna?
that's big too.
It's like, I have a lot more things to consider when it comes to where I'm putting down roots. And you're just like, I want to see it all and do it all.
Especially having that after that June Lake experience,
Yeah.
because I come back here and
It's
like I was trying
transformative.
to say, I was already in that. I'm already in the pattern again. It's the same shit, different
Mhm.
toilet,
Mhm.
and I'm already craving like I need to be in a different scenario where I'm uncomfortable. Because that if really wanted to, like, I would stay in that apartment and I just keep these 2 jobs and
Yeah.
that would be for me for another fucking decade.
But I don't think so. I think, like, you're just doing it to, like, make money and then be able to get your
Well, I am
van,
now,
like
but I've had
yeah.
these feelings of where I'm so comfortable, like, "Oh, I
Uh-huh.
don't need to do
Oh,
that."
like, you become
Yeah,
complacent.
like,
Like, this is good
I'm
enough.
settling and being accepting that not fulfilling my
But
dreams and goals because it's
okay, sure. That is your
scary.
dream and goal. Do you feel, like, happy day to day, though, like, with your life?
Yeah, but
Or
I mean,
you've
I am, but I
always
know that what is the end goal, you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I mean,
You have something to look
it
forward
has
to.
been a journey alone moving back and then
Mhm.
living in
Getting
that
your
nursery in my
oh
old
my gosh,
room.
Kaden lived on the nursery floor
Yeah, on air
for
mattress. That's
months.
2 actually, only 1.
No.
I moved December
Oh, I think the
4th.
intention was months, and after 1
Well,
month,
yeah.
everyone collectively was like,
Yeah.
"This is hard, cause it just was hard, like, you'd come home
Well,
late, you would wake up Sienna, like, it was
mhm.
just a hard time.
And then the process of finding jobs again.
Yeah, which that wasn't
There was
hard,
the
that
I
took,
mean,
like, a day.
yeah, but
But just the process of getting it
the
reintegrated, like reintegration.
uh-huh.
But
And it's not like, "Oh, I'm finally settled," and you have 2 decent paying jobs that give you really good benefits and
mhm.
amenities, but it's not what I really want. I'm
It's
grateful and I'm
not
happy
like
for
the
it.
thing that's fulfilling you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fulfilling enough.
Again, after having a quote unquote job, just being a boat boy, working on a marina, like
Mhm,
fucking 30 minutes from Yosemite,
mhm.
I mean, I definitely took that maybe for granted
But the
because when you come back to the AKA, or not AKA, but like quote unquote grind
mhm.
of the city, I mean,
But that's what I'm saying, no matter where you're at, you're going to take it for granted because it becomes the normal.
I think it's only become the
If
normal
you're there for a long
because
time.
that's what kind of going back to the social constructs of city life or anywhere I've been, I've fallen into the trap of this how social I've been or the partying and whatnot,
Mhm.
which has long term, and we've talked about this so many times, the long term self sabotaging of
Uh-huh.
just avoid like if I really, really just sacrifice myself,
He's gonna
not
sacrifice
myself.
himself.
Oh,
Ron, no.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. But I don't, not sacrifice myself, but make sacrifices to
These short-term discomforts for the
yeah.
long-term
Uh-huh.
goals, but you are always like, "Ugh, but I wanna enjoy my life every single day, day
Uh-huh.
to
Yeah, yeah,
day,"
yeah.
which then you're not able to achieve any. I mean, I'm sure I'm the same way.
But it's all short-term satisfaction
Yes.
and these events or experiences that don't have true value or meaning.
And if you're getting wasted every time, you don't even remember.
Yeah. And just I think being somewhere and experiencing something as amazing as a national park or just being one with again back to the outdoors.
Mhm.
That feeling and the memory of it is holds value and it's something that I would like to experience more of, but I don't know why I've just sabotaged myself so far away from
The core of what you really want. I mean,
yeah.
it's because we have a million distractions in our
Yeah,
lives, like,
exactly.
everything we're seeing on TikTok, everything we're seeing on social media, like, distractions constantly. The amount that people have to work to just, like, live in today's
Uh-huh.
society leaves very little for imagination and creativity and hobbies and happiness.
And I think it's also too with the jobs I've had. I think I'm finally in position to be making my way quicker and faster to what I want to
Yeah.
do.
Yes. I agree.
Because it has been like we talked about in a previous episode, just all these the jumping of job to job, place to place.
Yeah.
And even when I was living here for a long time, 3 years, I still had about minimum, almost a little over minimum wage job
Mhm.
with no security or benefits or
Mhm.
bonuses. And
It keeps you, like, stuck on, like, a
and
hamster
just being
wheel.
like fresh 21, 22,
Uh-huh.
moving to a big city with literally the nightlife anyone could want.
Yeah. You like, Old Town, it was like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god."
Oh my
Like, when
gosh.
you
I know.
first
I
moved
used
out
to
here.
thought it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like I
remember, I'm
thought it
like,
was
"Oh,
like
he's gonna love
the it scene,
this."
yeah. But now
Yeah.
that you're so used to it and it's just like another place
Yes.
that has no meaning or value.
Yes.
It's sad, but I had to go through that. I mean, obviously,
Well,
you
that's
can
the
go back
thing.
to the everything happens for a reason, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't feel the way you do now if you haven't had those past
Uh
experiences
huh.
to, like,
Every
contrast.
decision we've made has led us exactly to this point, talking right
Mhm.
now on a
Totally.
podcast.
Look at us. Just a
V6.
couple of potties
Yeah, but I do think I'm finally in a spot where the dominoes are falling over.
in your favor
Yeah.
for the things that you wanna do.
I mean, both of us, really.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, just this podcast alone,
I mean, this is so fun. I mean, it's just like it genuinely is the only time we catch up anymore, so
which is good too, though, because
'cause then we have things to talk about.
exactly.
But it's funny that because at the end of, like, our maybe not even the end of our last episode, we were, like, talking about this just, like, a little bit, and then I feel like every day this week, it's been, like, a conversation like the guy at the park or with Logan, like, it is just the most top of mind thing is
Small
where do I
synchronicities.
want to settle down, and I can't decide what aesthetic I want.
Mm, yeah, what Pinterest board
Yeah, 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 or, like, you see those TikToks, and it's like,
I wanna make
which
a
one
picture of.
is your, like, girlfriend or whatever, and it's, like, a beach,
Oh, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
forest, a lake, like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
different houses or whatever,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and it's like, which one is like
One's
you?
like
And
a
I'm like, "I
cabin
love this one, I
snowing.
love this one, I love this one, I love this one," like, I wanna live all the lives. I can't decide, but I don't wanna live all of them, I just, like I want to know which one I want.
What do you want?
I don't know who I am. I'm just kidding.
Is that what she says in a notebook?
No,
That's,
I can't
Rachel
even quote
Adams,
it, I
right?
think. Rachel
Mick
McAdams
Adams.
and Ryan Gosling. Is that your favorite, actor?
I think so.
Really? Ever
I
since Blade Runner
mean,
2? I feel like that movie is,
God,
like,
it's such a good
inspiring to you.
fucking movie. I just love his acting in it because he's supposed to be I mean, he is like a robot, like half. So he has, like, no emotion, kind of. Actually, oh god.
Is he a robot? Or is he
No, he's
just
not.
surrounded by
He's,
robots? Ana de Armas is in that.
everyone I know I used to have
I know.
I thought I like a big crush on her, but I honestly don't really find her that attractive anymore.
Okay. That's growth.
You're right, I'm learning. I'm more, dude, I don't even know.
I think that you are so focused on the journey ahead, your individual
I was
journey
gonna bring that
ahead,
up.
that you're actually really after we just advertised you on the last episode, you're actually really not in a good place to, like, commit to a relationship because you want to go off and, like, leave and, like,
Now that I think about
go
that,
do
maybe I
camp
never
life
have been because I haven't
because
fulfilled
you
that.
haven't fulfilled that, and I think that you won't settle down with a woman until you've done that for yourself.
I agree.
So, Kadin's off the
So then
market.
again, you get these where I get caught up in the weekend partying, and then that's where I get
Mhm.
like, "Oh, maybe I should
You're
download
like,
Hinge. Maybe the city life is okay for
"Yes."
me." But it's not what I at the root what I want, so it's
It's just another
subconsciously or in the
distraction.
back going to fall apart because I
Uh-huh.
make it fall apart deep down.
Because it's not really what you wanted.
Exactly.
Interesting. You have been self-sabotaging. Because there have been times where I'm
Maybe
like,
I
"You're a
put myself in these
self-sabotager."
positions where I need to accept the city life, or I am a festival goer, and I'm so
This is
free
me.
giving and doing drugs and
I
having
wanna
fun.
be a DJ.
Yeah, I wanna be part of the music scene, but,
Yes.
like, it's so deep down, it's like, no, I actually don't like getting blacked out.
Yeah.
I don't like not having 8 hours of sleep. I don't
Mhm.
um, like, hoping I'd meet a girl
Yeah. You like being
or just,
focused
like,
on
having
wellness
fun
and
flirting or being, like,
yeah.
playing the game or all these things because I do yeah, I want what I've already talked about this entire episode.
Yeah. It's nice that you know what you want because then it's just
Growth,
a matter
yeah.
of working towards it.
Uh-huh.
Whereas I can't decide what I want, so I don't know what to work towards, and it's leaving me feeling very
I
untethered.
feel like if maybe you just actually sat down multiple times a week
Hmm.
and looked in
Zillow?
no,
Or looked with
you're within
oh,
yourself.
meditated?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because remember, like, I feel like we had a good thing
I did
going
when
when we
we
would
used to when Caden
wake up
okay.
early,
Yeah, we
coffee,
were waking up,
yoga.
like, 6 AM,
It
6:30.
felt
We would
good.
go to the park barefoot. We would do our, like, grounding. We would, like, say affirmations every single morning of COVID.
Make our own coffee,
For and we
do
would
yoga.
every weekend, we would also go, like, play Frisbee at the park, like, we were on our
And
shit.
wouldn't you say you felt
I
alive?
felt, like, hopeful. You know what I mean? I felt like, "Oh, there's just so much hope," like, for me, and, like, I was excited about the future, and I think that the only thing that's changed is just, like, I just feel
Isn't
not
it
hopeless, but, like, I guess, yeah, stuck maybe.
isn't it interesting though that we are so aware of what makes us feel better, but yet it's so hard to like
Like
actually
drinking
do
water.
it?
No,
Exactly.
quite literally. Like, it's almost like a stubbornness. Like, yeah, I know I need to drink water. Like,
Oh yeah. Or yeah,
and
I know I'd feel better if I just took some breaths,
or like you weren't on
but
TikTok till
I don't
2
want
AM.
to.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like,
Just hoping for that next fix of
you
like,
know
oh,
what?
this video got me.
You know what actually kind of resonates with me is like, I guess more specifically towards like when you are home after work and instead of getting good sleep that you know is going to make you feel good, you doom scroll or whatever and you're up later than you want to be. It's like you're rebelling against all of your time being owned by other people and like being owned by other things that when you finally have your time, like you just want to like
It feels like your
spend it
time.
however yeah, it's just like I'm taking control of my time because I don't own any of my time, and, like, you just at least wanna be doing what you wanna be doing in that moment,
Because
and not what's, like, good for you because it's, like, kinda
it's always at
boring.
the end of the day. I'm
Yeah.
never like, I mean, obviously because I work and I'm going to the gym, but I'm never before the gym. I think doom scrolling, or
Yeah.
I know I have stuff to do, but once I'm like, oh God, what a day!
Yeah.
It's kind of like when people have a drink to relax.
That's exactly Logan's
I
got that
fucking doom
sometimes, like, he
scroll.
got home at 1 AM from work last night, and he was, like,
Stayed up
up
later though,
he
right?
stayed up
Yeah,
later and was just like, "I wanna have my evening." And even
exactly.
though it's, like, the time has passed, he's
Which
like,
is
"I wanna
something,
reclaim my time."
just something I really struggle with. Like I'm so happy for the like being in the industry and the money is to be made, but again, it does not fit my
No.
wants and needs for
Long
a
term.
healthy lifestyle.
Exactly.
'Cause that will catch up.
Yes. Yes.
Again, it has I do see
But
it
it's
temporary.
it's tough because it's like, that's like, you do
With
make
my
so much money
education
with that
yeah, my education and I guess experience as far
resume.
as work and yeah, resume,
Yeah.
it is the
The
best
most money you could make.
gem. Yeah, it's
Yes.
the money pot. And there's already been like new servers that were hired on similar to the same time as me. They're fucking are it,
Like, what are the
what's that?
words that you're trying to say,
I was
buddy
gonna
boy?
say ejaculating, but they're
Why?
getting so off of like how like this place is a fucking like gold mine. Like they're
Ugh.
freaking out. Like even some that have gone from other concepts and gone to this one, they're like, this is insane.
For a long time, Logan and I were trying to get him like a salary graphic design job. And he is now making more than he would have made as a salaried graphic designer for like a mid-sized tech company. It's
And
just
just
like
like anything though, there is the
you have to
good and the
just
bad.
pick and choose what you were willing to sacrifice. Like
Exactly.
with Logan's schedule, he only works weekday nights. So it's like we have every single morning as a family, we have like a family breakfast. He's here with Sienna so that I can get work done in the afternoon, and then he's like gone for the evening, and it just works for our family. And then we have the weekends together. Like
But
I just love our
I do hope
schedule.
though that I mean he can get out of it
Eventually
because
but it is really, there's no better schedule for like where we're at with Sienna's age. Like it's just the perfect situation for us right now.
yeah,
And
but
it's like,
hopefully one day you're at a point where
well, the
you
thing
guys
is,
can afford to have him just be at
we
home
want to be remote. Like
or
that's the
remote.
thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
ideally long term, like our goal is to be remote. So yeah, obviously he can't be doing that forever. And that's part of what we're like, what do we do? Because this is such a great schedule for us. Like this does make us really happy day to day. Like we get to go for a walk every morning. Like that's where the battle is like, this is working great for us right
Uh-huh.
now, but it's not where I want to be forever. But I don't know where that is.
What what do you think when do you think you will? Or do you think it's just a matter of time?
Ask my higher self. I don't fucking know, Kanan. I think it's gonna be a matter of time.
Just
Yeah.
every time I say higher self, I just feel like there's like another version of me just like
That's literally what it is.
yeah,
They're
I
just
know.
looking
I
down.
know, I know, I know.
Well, I feel no more clarity than I did at the beginning of this, but that wasn't
I
the
feel
point.
good.
This isn't. I'm glad you feel good, and you have like a couple days off, so you should be feeling great.
Yeah. But just in the sense in the topic of what we've been
Yeah.
discussing it, I
Yes.
feel
In
good.
the sense of where you're headed.
Yeah, I would say I'm hopeful and excited
Yeah, that's a nice place to be.
because it is close.
It's as close as you want it to be.
It's
It's
as
as
close as it's
close as
ever been,
however many sacrifices you're willing to make to get there.
and it's yeah, piece by piece. I've been making my way towards that a lot longer than I probably initially thought, but
You can't rush it if it's your,
not at all. And
long
I
term.
can't have any regret, and I think it has been necessary of all the
And you're so
experiences and
young, Kaden.
tribulations.
Like it's easy for us to feel
Yeah,
old
yeah, yeah.
because it's like, okay, relative to my whole life, this is the oldest I've ever been. But it's like we're still so young, both of us.
Yes,
And I'm still young.
you
I
are.
am.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I feel young. All right. That sounds like a good. It's gonna be
It's
okay.
gonna be okay.
Have a great rest of your week.
You as well. Where can people find us?
People can find us on YouTube. We release videos every week.
Yup.
Like and subscribe. Hit us up on
Clips.
social. Yep, we drop clips there. Instagram, TikTok. That's
YouTube
it.
shorts.
YouTube Shorts. I mean, yeah, YouTube.
Oh yeah.
The tube.
The
All right.
two best of kin.
Bye.
Bye.